shattered promises. Olivia Morgan pressed her palm against the bathroom door, listening to the hushed conversation from the other side. At 8 months pregnant, she should have been glowing with anticipation, not fighting back tears in her own home. "I can't keep lying to her," her husband Nathan's voice carried through. "But the timing is terrible." "The timing will always be terrible," replied a woman's voice. Sophia, Nathan's executive assistant. "But we deserve to be happy. You said yourself your marriage has been over for months." Olivia's hand fell to her rounded belly, feeling her daughter kick as if sensing her distress. 6 years of marriage crumbling before her eyes. The signs had been there. Late nights at the office, the sudden password changes on his phone, the way his eyes no longer lingered on her. Stepping back quietly, Olivia retreated to their bedroom, mind racing. Tomorrow was the annual Morgan Investments Gala, where Nathan would be announcing the company's expansion. She had helped build that company alongside him, sacrificing her own career in architectural design. Now she understood why he had suggested she rest at home instead of attending. "I'll be there," she whispered to herself, determination replacing hurt. The ballroom glittered with crystal chandeliers as Olivia entered the following evening. Her emerald dress, specially tailored to accommodate her pregnancy, drew admiring glances. She spotted Nathan immediately, his arm casually draped around Sophia's waist as they laughed with investors. Nathan's face paled when he saw her. "Olivia, what a surprise. Shouldn't you be resting?" "I wouldn't miss your big announcement," she replied, voice steady despite her thundering heart. "After all, I helped design this expansion project." Sophia stepped forward, her red dress clinging to her slender figure. "Nathan was just telling me how concerned he is about your health. Pregnancy can be so limiting." "Nathan seems very concerned about many things lately," Olivia replied, noticing several executives watching their exchange with interest. The evening progressed in a blur of forced smiles and painful revelations. Nathan barely acknowledged her presence, while Sophia remained glued to his side. During the presentation, Olivia noticed her concept drawings for the new building had been altered. Sophia was now credited as the consulting designer. When Olivia confronted Nathan during a brief moment alone, his mask slipped entirely. "What did you expect?" he hissed. "You've been so focused on this baby. You've neglected everything else. Sophia understands what I need." "And what about what our child needs? A father who honors his commitments?" Nathan's eyes hardened. "I never wanted this baby. Sophia and I have plans, and they don't include playing house with you." The words struck harder than any physical blow. Before she could respond, Sophia appeared with 2 board members. "Nathan, darling, they're ready for the champagne toast," she said, deliberately knocking into Olivia's shoulder, causing her to stumble against a waiter carrying a tray of drinks. The crash drew everyone's attention as Olivia found herself drenched in champagne, humiliated in front of the entire room. As tears threatened, Olivia's phone buzzed. A text from her brother Lucas. "Flight landed. James and I will be at your place in an hour. Hold on, sis." For the first time that evening, Olivia felt a spark of strength. Her brothers were coming home, guardian angels. Lucas and James Riley had built their tech security firm from the ground up, with offices now spanning 3 continents. But no business emergency could compare to their sister's desperate call. The twins arrived at Olivia's home shortly after midnight, finding her curled on the sofa, still in her champagne-stained dress. "He's not coming home tonight," she explained quietly, probably celebrating with her. Lucas, the older twin by 7 minutes, sat beside her while James paced the room, barely containing his fury. At 34, both men had the same dark hair and intense eyes, though James carried himself with a coiled energy, while Lucas possessed a calculating stillness. "Start from the beginning," Lucas said, taking her hand. "Tell us everything." As Olivia recounted the past months, the brothers exchanged glances, a silent communication honed since childhood. The missed anniversary, the suspicious business trips, the gradual isolation from family and friends, and finally, tonight's public humiliation. "He's trying to push me out of the company," Olivia concluded. "I own 20% of Morgan Investments. My designs are being credited to Sophia. I think they've been planning this for a long time." James stopped pacing, his expression darkening. The bastard is setting you up to lose everything. Your marriage, your company share, maybe even custody leverage. Not if we act first, Lucas replied, his voice calm but eyes hard as flint. Remember Devlin Capital last year? The hostile takeover that wasn't? James nodded slowly, a grim smile forming. Digital breadcrumbs and paper trails. Nobody ever suspects until it's too late. Olivia looked between her brothers. What are you thinking? We're thinking, Lucas said, that Nathan Morgan doesn't know who he's dealing with. Riley Securities specializes in protecting people from threats, both cyber and human. This isn't just about revenge, James added, kneeling before his sister. This is about justice and securing your future and your daughters. For the first time that night, Olivia felt a sliver of hope pierce through her despair. The next morning, while Olivia rested, Lucas and James established a command center in her home office. Their team back in San Francisco received encrypted instructions to begin discreet investigations into Nathan Morgan and Sophia Chen. Nathan's leveraged himself to the hilt for this expansion, James noted. Reviewing financial records. 3 banks involved, plus private investors. Lucas nodded, scanning emails they'd recovered from Nathan's cloud storage. And he's promised the board a return that these projections can't possibly support. He's cooking the books with help from their CFO. By afternoon, they'd discovered the depth of the deception. Nathan had been systematically moving company assets into a shell corporation, preparing to abandon the original company and Olivia's stake in it once the expansion was complete. When Nathan finally returned home that evening, he found the brothers waiting in the living room. Family reunion? He sneered, though his eyes betrayed unease. Just checking on our sister, Lucas replied pleasantly. Interesting presentation yesterday. Creative accounting practices. Nathan stiffened. I don't know what Olivia told you, but our business dealings aren't family matters. That's where you're wrong, James said, rising from his chair. Everything about how you treat our sister is our business. Every lie, every betrayal, every manipulation. You have 48 hours, Lucas added, his tone conversational. End things with Sophia, recommit to your marriage and child, or discover exactly how creative we can be. Nathan forced a laugh. Are you threatening me in my own house? No, James replied with a cold smile. We're giving you a chance to save yourself. After Nathan stormed out, Olivia emerged from the hallway. He'll go straight to her, she said softly. Lucas nodded. We're counting on it. Silent storm. The following morning, Riley Securities' most elite team converged on San Francisco. Evan Park, their digital forensics specialist, sat across from the twins in a secured hotel suite, his laptop displaying encrypted messages. Morgan's been busy, Evan reported. Called an emergency board meeting for tomorrow afternoon. He's accelerating the timeline. Lucas turned to Olivia, who sat wrapped in a cashmere throw, looking stronger than the night before. Are you absolutely certain about this path? Once we start, there's no turning back. She nodded, one hand protectively over her belly. He made his choice. Now I'm making mine. Then let's proceed, James said, opening a secure folder. Phase 1 is already in motion. Across the city, Nathan entered his office tower, unaware of the digital shadow tracking his every move. By noon, every email, text, and financial record linked to his accounts had been mirrored to Riley Securities' servers. Meanwhile, James attended a private lunch with Morgan Investments' largest investor, an old college friend who'd been hesitant about Nathan's expansion plans. The numbers don't add up, James explained quietly, sliding a dossier across the table. And there's more at stake than money. By late afternoon, Sophia received a mysterious email from an anonymous account containing screenshots of Nathan discussing their plan to marginalize Olivia. The message was simple. Partners should trust each other completely. Does he tell you everything? Attached was evidence of Nathan's similar pattern with his previous assistant 3 years earlier. Promises made, then abandoned when convenient. That evening, Nathan and Sophia met at her apartment, unaware of the directional microphones capturing their increasingly panicked conversation. Someone knows, Sophia hissed. The investors are getting nervous. Martin canceled our meeting and won't return calls. It's those damn brothers, Nathan growled. They're trying to intimidate us, but they have nothing concrete. We just need to move faster. And if they do have something, I'm not going down for your financial maneuvers, Nathan. Their argument escalated, revealing the cracks in their alliance. Neither loyalty nor love, but opportunity and ambition had united them, fragile foundations now beginning to crumble under pressure. The following morning, board members of Morgan Investments received anonymously delivered packages containing documented evidence of Nathan's financial manipulations, along with photos of him and Sophia in compromising situations during business trips charged to company accounts. Simultaneously, Olivia met with her attorney, armed with financial records showing how Nathan had attempted to devalue her company shares while using her designs without attribution. The lawsuit was ready but not yet filed, a sword of Damocles hanging over Nathan's career. At the emergency board meeting, Nathan confidently strode to the podium, prepared to announce accelerated expansion plans, only to find the board's expressions unusually somber. The chairman, Eleanor West, spoke first. Before we begin, Mr. Morgan, we've received some concerning information that requires your immediate response. As the evidence was presented, Nathan's face drained of color. His eyes darted around the room, looking for allies but finding none. When he attempted to blame accounting errors and misunderstandings, the chairman simply slid forward a tablet showing his private messages with Sophia detailing their scheme. The board will require your resignation by end of business today, Eleanor stated firmly. Otherwise, we will pursue criminal charges. Outside the boardroom, Lucas received a simple text from their inside contact. Storm has made landfall. Art 4. Day of Reckoning to High. Gallery opening should have been Nathan Morgan's triumph, a showcase for the architectural designs of Morgan Investments' expansion projects. Instead, it became his public undoing. Olivia entered the crowded space on the arms of her brothers, her burgundy maternity gown drawing admiring glances from the assembled investors and arts patrons. Nathan stiffened when he spotted them, quickly whispering to Sophia, who looked uncharacteristically disheveled. The brothers had timed their move perfectly, allowing Nathan to believe he might still salvage his position, letting him gather all his potential investors in one room before the final blow fell. Olivia, Nathan approached, his smile strained. I was hoping we could talk privately. I believe we're past private conversations, she replied calmly. But I am interested in discussing the provenance of these designs. She gestured to the architectural renderings, prominently displayed with Sophia's name attached. This isn't the place. It's exactly the place, Lucas interjected smoothly. Art is about truth, after all. Eleanor West, the board chairman, appeared at Olivia's side. Mrs. Morgan, I'm glad you could join us. The board has some questions about these designs that Mr. Morgan seems unable to answer. Nathan's face contorted with rage. This is a conspiracy. You've turned my own board against me? No conspiracy, James replied. Just consequences. The gallery fell silent as Olivia stepped forward, her voice clear and steady. These are my designs, created over the past year while I was supposedly just focusing on the baby. I have the original drawings, dated files, and witnesses to my work. She turned to face the crowd. My husband and his assistant have been systematically removing my contributions while preparing to devalue my stake in our company. Fortunately, I kept backups. On cue, large screens around the gallery activated, displaying split-screen comparisons of Olivia's original design files with timestamps against the modified versions now bearing Sophia's name. This is corporate theft, Eleanor stated firmly. The board has already begun proceedings. Sophia stepped forward, eyes blazing. You can't prove any of this. It's her word against ours, and Nathan is the face of this company, not his pregnant wife playing architect. Actually, came a new voice as Martin Chen, their largest investor, joined the group. We have more than her word. He held up his phone displaying emails between Nathan and Sophia discussing how to remove Olivia from the company. I received a very interesting data package yesterday, as did all your investors. The color drained from Nathan's face. That's private correspondence. You had no right. Olivia's voice trembled slightly. You stole my work, planned to take my company shares, humiliated me publicly, and you talk about rights? Around them, investors began quietly stepping away from Nathan, clustering instead around Eleanor and Martin. The message was clear. Morgan Investments would continue, but without Nathan Morgan. As security discreetly approached, Nathan made one last desperate attempt. Olivia, be reasonable. Think about our child. We can work this out. I am thinking about our child, she replied, one hand on her belly. That's why I'm ensuring she has a mother she can be proud of. As Nathan and a tearful Sophia were escorted from the gallery, Olivia felt a curious lightness. The designs were restored to her name, her position in the company secured, and for the first time in months, she could breathe freely again. Later, at home with her brothers, Olivia finally allowed herself to cry, not from sadness but from relief. How did you get those emails? She asked. Lucas and James exchanged glances. Let's just say, Lucas replied with a small smile, when it comes to protecting family, we're very motivated. Phoenix Rising. 3 months later, spring sunlight streamed through the windows of Olivia's home office as she cradled her newborn daughter. Little Emma Riley Morgan, with her perfect fingers and bright eyes, had arrived 2 weeks early but healthy and strong, much like her mother. Board meeting in 30 minutes, James announced, entering with coffee. Virtual attendance confirmed. You're sure you're up for this? Olivia nodded, carefully transferring Emma to the bassinet beside her desk. The new community center designs need approval before we break ground next month. In the aftermath of Nathan's departure, Morgan Investments had undergone a transformation. With Eleanor West as acting CEO and Olivia elevated to Chief Design Officer, the company had redirected its expansion to include community-focused projects. The first would be the Phoenix Center, a space providing resources for women rebuilding after relationship trauma. Lucas appeared in the doorway, his typical reserve softened when he glanced at his niece. The Shanghai team sent revisions for the sustainable materials section, and Ryan called to confirm dinner tonight. At the mention of Ryan Walsh, the company's new financial director who'd helped uncover the full extent of Nathan's manipulations, Olivia felt a now familiar warmth bloom in her chest. Their weekly strategy sessions had gradually evolved into dinners that stretched long into the evening, filled with conversation that had nothing to do with business. Tell him 7 o'clock, she replied, unable to keep the smile from her voice. James raised an eyebrow. That's the 3rd dinner this month. 4th, Lucas corrected, the corner of his mouth lifting. Not that we're counting. Of course you're counting, Olivia laughed, the sound coming easier now. The divorce had been finalized remarkably quickly after Nathan's legal team reviewed the evidence Riley Securities had gathered. With Nathan facing potential criminal charges, he'd relinquished all claims to both company shares and parental rights in exchange for immunity, a decision that revealed everything about the man she'd mistakenly loved. The board meeting proceeded smoothly, with Olivia's designs for the Phoenix Center receiving unanimous approval. As she signed off, Emma began to fuss, tiny hands waving. Perfect timing, Lucas noted, lifting his niece with a tenderness few outside the family ever witnessed. I'll take her while you get ready for your date. It's a business dinner, Olivia protested weakly. With candlelight and wine, James added. Very corporate. Later, as Ryan helped her into her coat after dinner, his fingers lingered on her shoulders. The Phoenix Center is extraordinary, Olivia. You've turned something painful into something that will help countless women. Under the restaurant's soft lighting, Olivia studied this man who had never once made her feel less than brilliant, who spoke to her with respect that required no constant proving. I had good people beside me. You would have found your way regardless, he replied. But I'm glad to be walking this path with you, whatever it becomes. When he kissed her goodnight at her door, a gentle question rather than a presumption, Olivia felt the final pieces of her heart knitting back together, stronger at the broken places. Inside, she found her brothers asleep on opposite ends of the sofa, Emma peaceful in her bassinet between them. These men who had crossed continents to defend her who had stayed to help her rebuild. As she tucked a blanket around James and removed Lucas's glasses, Olivia reflected on the strange journey of the past year. She had lost a husband, but rediscovered herself, created a daughter and reconstructed a future, found that family wasn't just about blood, but about who remained standing beside you when the storm had passed. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new designs, perhaps even new love. But tonight, surrounded by those who had never wavered, Olivia Morgan was exactly where she needed to be, home.